Samosas, crisp, golden and packed with flavour. Today I'll be showing you how I make mine with two different fillings. You can choose which one you like for your perfect version. The ingredients for both lots are shown on the screen at the moment, and I'll just go through each one as I use them. So to start off with, we're having Aloo Saag Samosa. For this we need some ginger, some salt to taste, garam masala, cumin and cinnamon, some chili powder, a splash of water, a couple of potatoes, as many peas and as much spinach as you feel like adding, and we need some brick samosa wrappers, and we will talk about those a bit later on. The ingredients I've listed will make about 24 samosas, and this is my sort of cooking, not much prep work required. So we're going to start off with a bit of ginger, a couple of teaspoons of finely chopped ginger. You could use lazy ginger. I was going to, but I had a piece of ginger in the fridge, so I used it. And I've already peeled and boiled the potato. You want it so it's just soft, not falling apart and not hard. And chop it into pieces. A good glug of oil into the frying pan, and it's in with the ginger. Followed by whatever spices you're using. I'm using ground cumin, some garam masala, ground cinnamon, and my old favourite, some chili flakes. These were made about 2 or 3 years ago actually. Quite warm. Get them stirred in, get them cooking, and if they go a bit dry, add a splash of water. You do not want these to burn. This only takes about 30 seconds, then it's in with the potatoes and start crushing those down a bit. They're far too big at the moment. That's what I mean about simple. You could use your own seeds and crush them down, but I'm just using powders. It would have been even simpler if I'd have used lazy ginger. Once the potatoes are all nicely coated with the spices, it's in with the peas and spinach. You can add as much or as little as you want of these really. I'd probably put in too little spinach and too many peas, but hey, whatever. Add a splash of water if things are drying out a little bit. And get them stirred in as well. Carry on breaking down the potatoes. In hindsight, maybe I should have cut the potatoes up beforehand, but I was a bit worried I'd smashed them to pieces when they were cooking. And carry on cooking for 2, 3 or 4 minutes. Get that water boiled off and get it back to being dry again and cooked. Time to make up a flour paste slurry. So just a big tablespoon of flour, bit of water, and stir it in to make a, well, like a glue like you used to when you were a kid. Sticking pages in your scrapbook. Oh. Right, here we are with the brick pastry. Brick pastry is very similar to phyllo pastry, except brick pastry is partially cooked, and I think it's probably 2, maybe 3 times as thick as phyllo. It certainly is a darn sight easier to handle, that's for sure. This was a pack of 20 sheets, and the sheets are separated by very, very fine paper. I was going to buy this in my local Asian supermarket. Trouble is it's 10 miles away, and by the time I do the 20-mile round trip, I've used a couple of gallons of petrol in my tank. So I got mine from Amazon, and I'll put a link down below for you. Yeah, so maybe twice as thick. Oh, it's almost see-through, look. So maybe twice as thick as phyllo pastry. Okay, time to start throwing the wrappers, and it's probably easier to watch me than to describe it. Put a pile in the top left-hand corner, fold the wrapper over, and just keep folding it down and across and down and across, and you're sealing in the filling. Quite clever, really. And when you get to the bottom, use your finger, smear on a load of the potato pasty glue stuff. Fold the flap over and put the samosa upside down so that the flap stays down. On with the next lot. And this filling just uses frozen mixed veg. So we need some oil, onion, garlic cloves, potato, some frozen mixed veg, curry powder, vegetable stock, and of course the brick wrappers. I've already finely chopped the onion and the garlic. The frozen mixed veg, some of the bits, especially the cauliflower and the broccoli, are a little bit too big. So I'm just cutting them down so they're about the same size as the carrots, peas and sweet corn and the green beans that are in there. All back in the bowl. Cutting up the already cooked potato. Again, not too hard, not too soft. We want the stock to be really strong because it's going to settle onto the vegetables and give them a lot of flavour. So I'm using 1 stock cube in 100 ml of water. Normally you'd use 500, so it's quite strong really. In with a half a tablespoon, I'm using a lot here, half a tablespoon of curry powder. And you can use whatever spices and herbs you want really. I'm just making this as simple as possible. In with the mixed veg. These were frozen, so I've just defrosted them in the microwave for a bit. Speeds up the cooking process. In with a little bit of salt to taste. And when the vegetables have had time to cook a little bit, it's in with the potatoes. Get everything stirred in, mixed in, and flavours infusing. And you'll see what I mean now with the liquids disappearing and all that flavour from the stock is left on the vegetables. Just like that. And let it cool down a bit, and here we go, building the wraps again. Put a spoonful of the mix at the top, fold the corner over, fold it over again, fold it over again. Very clever really, isn't it? Fold it over again, and glue the flap down. So simple. I was going to make different shape samosas for the 2 different fillings, but what I did in the end was put a blob of food colouring on the top of the vegetable ones. I wasn't sure if this would make a difference when they were cooked, but wanted to see. Just for when I take them to family do's and that, I can tell which filling's which, and the kids won't eat the hot chili ones. Okay, get the oil up to temperature. Around about 170 Celsius will do it. And a good tip for you if you've got one of these folding temperature probes, when you've stuck it in hot oil or in the oven or something like that, don't fold it up straight away because you will burn your fingers on that long hot probe. Ask me how I know. And we're going to cook these for about, 5 to 7 minutes really, until they're golden brown. I flipped them over halfway through just to make sure the bottoms were going and to make sure that the flaps hadn't opened. And they were, and they hadn't, so fantastic. And in with the second batch, the vegetable ones. Exactly the same. Now be careful, don't overcrowd the basket when you're doing this. I know I only made 4 of these samosas, but I don't think I'd get any more in there. I have cooked these in the oven before now, and they weren't quite as crisp. But what I may do next time is brush them with oil before I put them in the oven. See if that helps. And again, I flip these over. The coloured dot's still there, even though it's not green. That'll do. Well, I guess I better try these. The ones with the dots on, they're the veggie ones. And the ones without the dots, they're potato, spinach and pea. So without any sauces first, I got Robert's hot sweet sauce there, and I got my tomato ketchup in that one. Oh, crunch. Oh, they are good. That is lovely. And that is lovelier. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm about to save that. Have that for my tea. And this is the veggie one. Tell you what, I prefer that one. That one's the more classical one, shall we say, with the potato, pea and spinach. But this is one I made it myself and it's nicer. Tomato sauce, tomato ketchup. That is definitely a double diggy thumbs up, guys. Save these for later on.